Is Manchester United's financial dominance in football fading? Believe it or not, the club that once ruled the Premier League with an iron grip is now struggling to keep up with its rivals. In this episode, I want to share with you a topic that has been on many people's minds. Does Manchester United have a financial concern? I say concern rather than crisis, because labeling it as a crisis might be an exaggeration. At this moment, Manchester United remains one of the most profitable clubs in the Premier League, but in terms of commercial sponsorships, it is not ranking as high as it used to. Compared to clubs globally, Manchester United is no longer in the top four, and in various aspects such as sponsorships, commercial income and matchday revenue, it isn't even among the top two in the Premier League. If you've been following recent reports, you might have seen the Deloitte Football Money League rankings, where Manchester United's position this year is the lowest in its history. In the last season, Manchester United's broadcasting revenue was £172.9 million, approximately $236 million, which seems modest compared to many other Premier League and European giants. The reason is quite simple. The club failed to secure UEFA Champions League qualification. This puts significant pressure on Michael Carrick, as he must lead Manchester United to qualify for next season's Champions League. Otherwise, what is now a financial concern could escalate into a financial crisis. While Manchester United remains one of the highest revenue-generating clubs in Europe, a significant portion of this income is due to the capacity of Old Trafford, which seats 74,197 people, ensuring strong matchday revenue. In this aspect, Manchester United likely leads, followed by Arsenal. However, what has historically set Manchester United apart from its rivals is its commercial and sponsorship income. Last season, despite finishing 15th in the Premier League and losing the UEFA Europa League final, Manchester United's commercial income hit a record high of £333.3 million. According to the Football Money League data, only Real Madrid, FC Barcelona, Bayern Munich and Manchester City have higher commercial incomes than Manchester United. Looking at European clubs, Real Madrid has topped the revenue rankings for the third consecutive year, claiming the top spot 15 times in 21 seasons. For the 2024 to 2025 season, Real Madrid's revenue reached £975 million, leading FC Barcelona by over £150 million. Liverpool, which went all out for the Premier League title last season, saw its revenue exceed £700 million, becoming the second Premier League club to achieve this milestone. However, globally, Liverpool ranks fifth. Notably, for the first time in the 29-year history of the Deloitte Football Money League, no English team made it into the top four. The rankings are as follows: 1. Real Madrid, 2. FC Barcelona, 3. Bayern Munich, 4. Paris Saint-Germain, last season's UEFA Champions League winner, Liverpool 5th, highest among Premier League teams, Manchester City 6th, Arsenal 7th, Manchester United 8th, Tottenham Hotspur 9th, and Chelsea 10th. To clarify, I initially referred to commercial income, where only Real Madrid, FC Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and Manchester City surpass Manchester United. The overall rankings, however, factor in matchday revenue and other sponsorships, which is why Premier League teams didn't make the top four and Manchester United ranks 8th in Europe. According to recent statistics, Manchester United's sponsorship income reached £184 million in the past year, the second highest in its history, just below the £189.5 million record set in 2023. Nearly half of this income comes from a 10-year partnership extension with Adidas, which was renewed in July 2023 for £90 million annually, marking the largest kit sponsorship deal in Premier League history. A few months later, Manchester United secured a major sponsorship agreement with American tech company Qualcomm, worth £60 million annually, with its Snapdragon brand displayed on both the men's and women's team jerseys. This deal exceeded industry expectations, proving that despite inconsistent performances over the past decade, Manchester United's ability to attract sponsors remains strong. This aligns with the stance of former Executive Vice Chairman Ed Woodward, who stated in a 2018 investor conference call at the New York Stock Exchange that on-field performance has little impact on the club's commercial operations revenue. However, since the expiration of the 3-year training kit sponsorship deal with Tezos last summer, Manchester United has yet to secure a new training kit sponsor, and the sleeve sponsorship with DXC Technology will also expire at the end of this season. The club remains calm, stating that finding a high-value partner for training sponsorship is the priority, rather than hastily filling the gap. However, losing Tezos means a £24 million shortfall, and losing DXC Technology would widen the gap further. To say there's no urgency would be untrue. A recent executive committee meeting was held at Carrington Training Ground, attended by co-chairman Joel Glazer and Avram Glazer, who expressed concerns about the club's current commercial performance. However, the club assures that strategies have been agreed upon to face these challenges. According to sources, due to concerns about the commercial income gap, Jean-Claude Blanc, CEO of Ineos, will take a more active role in Manchester United's operations. Blanc, who joined Manchester United 2 years ago after Sir Jim Ratcliffe acquired a minority stake, briefly served as CEO before Omar Berrada's appointment. Now 62, Blanc resigned from the board last March, but continues to work for Manchester United as head of international football relations, attending FIFA, UEFA and ECA meetings. During the recent Manchester derby, Blanc closely monitored commercial operations from a box at Old Trafford. He will collaborate with Mark Armstrong, Manchester United's chief commercial officer, who joined the club a year ago. Armstrong previously held senior commercial roles at Paris Saint-Germain for nearly 7 years, coinciding with Blanc's tenure as CEO there. The club emphasizes that Blanc continues to attend executive committee meetings and offers advice and support to staff. However, the challenges they face are significant. Recent inconsistent performances have impacted sponsorship acquisitions negatively. Additionally, Sir Jim Ratcliffe's arrival led to significant layoffs, including in the commercial department. Financial reports show that the commercial department staff dropped from 170 in the 2023-2024 season to 129 last season, a 24% decrease, with further reductions expected this season. This downsizing has had a significant impact. For instance, key figures responsible for negotiating the Adidas extension and the Qualcomm sponsorship have left the club, and replacements have not been found. These individuals include James Holroyd, who played a pivotal role in securing the Adidas deal and has since resigned as Manchester United's commercial development director, now serving as CEO at Burnley. Another key figure, Victoria Timpson, who negotiated the Qualcomm deal, also left Manchester United months later. The loss of experienced staff has made it difficult for Manchester United to retain core sponsors and attract new ones. Last summer, after the Tezos sponsorship expired, Tezos proposed a smaller deal, such as shifting focus from training kits to other projects, but Manchester United declined. Another factor affecting this season's sponsorship income is that Manchester United might not receive the full annual fee from Adidas for the first time. The 2015 agreement with Adidas included a clause reducing the annual fee by 30% if the club failed to qualify for the Champions League for 2 consecutive seasons. This clause was previously avoided from 2017 to 2020, but the 2023 renewal removed the 2-season restriction while reducing the penalty to £10 million. This season marks the first time in over a decade that Manchester United has failed to qualify for European competitions, and if they miss the Champions League again next season, they will face an additional £10 million penalty. Additionally, shirt sponsorship is affected by performance. According to the agreement with Qualcomm, the company can transfer the advertising rights on the back of Manchester United's men's domestic cup jerseys and women's team jerseys to its partners to expand cooperation and promote products. Last season, Manchester United featured this logo in 7 official matches, including the Community Shield match against Manchester City, 3 FA Cup games, and 3 EFL Cup matches. However, this season Manchester United exited domestic cups early, with the logo appearing only twice, in an EFL Cup defeat to Grimsby Town and an FA Cup loss to Brighton and Hove Albion last month. This undoubtedly affects sponsorships. Another potential sponsorship was with Amazon's flagship sports documentary series All or Nothing, which has featured Manchester City and Arsenal. The proposed deal with Manchester United would have been worth over £10 million, the highest in the series. However, then head coach Ruben Amorim opposed the idea, citing interference with first-team training, and the club prioritised sporting considerations over commercial interests. The reality is that Manchester United faces intense competition from Premier League rivals. Over the past decade, the other Big Six clubs have significantly closed the gap with Manchester United in commercial income. Manchester United's commercial income grew by 25% in 10 years, while Manchester City's nearly doubled. Arsenal, Chelsea and Liverpool also saw rapid growth, with Tottenham experiencing a 335% surge in commercial income after opening their new stadium in 2019. Of course, Manchester United's base figure is higher, making percentage growth easier for others. But in actual numbers, they are catching up or surpassing Manchester United. In 2016, Tottenham's commercial income was over £200 million less than Manchester United's, but by 2023-2024, the gap narrowed to under £50 million. While Manchester United still leads Chelsea and Arsenal, Liverpool has surpassed Manchester United in the past 2 seasons, and Manchester City overtook Manchester United 5 years ago. Even with major deals like Adidas and Qualcomm, Manchester United's sponsorship income has only grown by £28.3 million over the past decade, while Tottenham reported a £30.5 million increase in sponsorship income over the last 3 years. To sum up, Manchester United now faces difficulty securing high-value sponsorships as Premier League rivals increasingly narrow or surpass the gap. Expanding stadium capacity to increase matchday revenue is unlikely in the short term. If the current trend continues, catching up will be challenging. The only solution is for Manchester United to consistently qualify for the Champions League. Even the Europa League doesn't count. It must be the Champions League, ideally advancing to the knockout stages. Achieving this would quickly restore Manchester United's financial appeal, likely returning it to the top spot in the Premier League, as Manchester United arguably remains the most supported club in England. Looking ahead, much depends on Michael Carrick. I intended to discuss Carrick, but that will have to wait for the next episode. His calm and composed leadership has indeed unlocked the potential of Manchester United's players. I have never doubted the ability of Manchester United's players. Even though some fans criticise Bruno Fernandes, I don't share that view, as he has been one of Manchester United's standout performers in recent years. Placing him in a defensive midfield position and blaming him for mistakes is unfair. The coach bears much of the responsibility. Casemiro's utilisation and Diogo Dalot's performances have also been decent, but correct positioning makes a significant difference. Whether Manchester United can maintain its current form until the end of the season remains to be seen. Currently, its chances of finishing in the top 4 are higher than Liverpool's and Chelsea's, but consistency is key, as Carrick himself has emphasised. Occasional good performances are not enough. Sustained stability is crucial. Okay, that's it for this episode.